Well, good day to you and welcome back. Well, yesterday we just got back from Phoenix, Arizona, where on Saturday we attended the Phoenix Type-In. This was a great event. It's rather annual. I think they missed maybe 1 or 2 years in the past, but it's been a great event for us to look forward to every year, where we meet some of the notable people in the typosphere who live out here in the western part of the U.S. It's a great get-together, and I'd like to share with you my trip. Stay tuned. So when we headed out from Albuquerque, we went out I-40, stopped in Gallup for breakfast, and then headed out to Flagstaff, and then took Highway 17 down south into the Phoenix area. A few interruptions, but we got into Phoenix with plenty of time on Friday afternoon, and then we enjoyed the stay. It was actually rather warm in Phoenix. We saw up to 116 degrees Fahrenheit. That was not the official temperature at the airport. But as the comedian George Carlin pointed out decades ago, nobody lives at the airport. Well, hello everybody. It's Saturday morning, the 28th of September here in Phoenix, Arizona. And we are next to First Draft Book Bar, where the venue of the 2024 Phoenix Type-In will be. It's roughly 8 o'clock in the morning, quarter to 8. We're having our morning coffee, and then we're going to do the Type-In, and it's just down the parking lot from the hotel called Rise that we're staying at, which is essentially right next door to the venue. So that's cool. It's always a challenge for us driving across the Continental Divide from New Mexico down into Phoenix. But it's a fun drive because we know at the end of the drive our destination is going to be the Type-In and meeting all of our friends and new friends and rubbing elbows, and we look forward to that this morning. I did bring 3 typewriters. I brought the Royal Mercury with all new rubber on it, and Ted Monk wanted to try it out. And then I brought the Olympia Splendid 33, one of my most favorite small portable typewriters, and I brought the Exemplar 300, which is essentially a princess in the princess line. 3 small portable typewriters, and that'll be fun to bring to the Type-In. So we have today Mr. Bob Marshall of Typewriter Muse. Bob, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Phoenix Type-In 2024. I've been up since 3 a.m. It's currently 10:30 a.m., which means I've been awake for a while. Jumped on an airplane out of Ontario, California, which is next to Riverside, California, where Muse Machines happens to be, and then hopped on over here with my good buddy Yvonne Campos. We've been friends since college, so we're here hanging out, playing with typewriters, making the best of it. We just got started, so it's very exciting to see all the different machines people have brought, all the people who have showed up, even by surprise. Mr. Joe Van Cleve, the Joe Van Cleve, is here as a surprise to the rest of us, so we're all very excited. There's going to be some exciting things happening. Stay clicked in.
I'm curious as to how your business is going in Riverside.
Thank you. Thank you for asking. I'm not going to lie, business has been fantastic. As more people are more excited about typewriters and all that they can do in the writing community, as well as myself being in Southern California, I have the opportunity to provide a lot of value to the machine. We do what's called full recondition on the machine. By the time you buy one of our machines, they're like new. People are excited to bring their machines in for repair for that service. We're the only ones west of New York doing our own platens, so that helps. So we can offer a lot of value to the customer as a one-stop shop. Of course, our virtual showroom, that's been the big thing in the last year. You can zoom in. We'll send you a Zoom. We zoom in and we show you the showroom virtually, and we're happy to send you almost every typewriter. Some are a little big standards, but maybe 50 out of 60 typewriters we have in the showroom. Sometimes we have 70 or 80 typewriters in the Typewriter Muse showroom.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, for the most part, 50 or 60. But yeah, we can ship most of them to you and show you what you want, show you how they work, and show you all the shiny new rubber. Typewriters are just rubber. Everything else is clean and tuned and lube, and that's the easy part.
So I have a question for you. I was laying in bed the other night thinking about other ideas for videos.
Yeah.
And one of the ideas came up with was vertical line spacing. on most typewriters is six characters, 6 lines per inch.
I learned that from you.
Right. Well, it's not universally true, but I was measuring it on, I have a Hermes rocket that has a hard platen and it's probably shrunk and the feed rollers need to be replaced.
Yeah.
So I typed a series of hyphens down, single line spaced, down the length of a sheet of paper, and then I measured them. And they were about like 5.5, or it was actually 6.5 lines, 6.5 lines per inch. And so then I figured, how much slippage is that? And you figure that 2 times radius times pi circumference relates to, and it's like a third of that. So it would have to have shrank about 2 millimeters. Does that seem reasonable?
It would be. The most I've ever seen, 2 millimeters would be a lot. 1.1, and I've been measuring it the last 2 years. I started off in millimeters, but the last 2 years I measure it in inches. So if it's, let's say it's supposed to be 1.27, for example, that was the one I did yesterday, and the one that I pulled off was 1.259. So that was kind of a, what is that, 15/100ths of an inch. So that's kind of a lot.
So then what I was thinking about was I was specifically thinking about you and businesses like J.J. Short. When you guys replace platens, do you actually, because J.J. Short doesn't have the machine. They only have the platen.
Right.
So they can't really measure what it's doing in the machine. Right. But do you do that? Do you actually, when you're done, because you lay down the rubber after you put it on there, and you actually, I guess, tweak it, right? That it's actually 6 lines per inch exactly, right?
Yeah, we have the ability to do that if the circumference needs to be a little proud, i.e., specs say it's supposed to be 1.27, but I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it's all set it at 1.285 or 1.29, and then I can see how proud it is, and if I need to shrink it down a little, it's not a big deal for me to pull the platen out. It's one of the tuning aspects, similar to ring and pinion, only I'm doing it with actual rubber.
See, to me, that is a super huge advantage of value in having a platen done, a whole typewriter done by you, because you can actually get the platen diameter spec'd back to factory spec. I really appreciate that.
Oh, I thank you. Not many people notice it. It's a value we can offer to the customer, and it does take a lot and a bit, and it's not more expensive than the alternative when other people do it. So it's nice that we can do it all in-house, have it good to go. And we don't do, if you send us your platen, we're going to send it right back. But if you send us a machine, we're happy to tune your platen to your machine to make sure you're getting the optimal performance.
And before I go, I wanted to ask you, are you indeed an old fart? Is that... Yeah,
47 years, I deserve it. I've been at it a long time.
Well, Bob, it's great talking with you.
Nice seeing you
again.
Made it, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I hope you tell the story how you made it, man.
I will. Okay.
Good stuff. Thank you.
So Bob was talking there, asking if I could tell the story of how we got to the type-in this year. And the story is, a few months ago, I mentioned to my wife, hey, you know, the type-in in Phoenix is coming up on September 28th. And then I was like, oh, that's your birthday. Then I kind of dropped it for a while. I just forgot about it, and I think I told somebody, maybe Bob or somebody, maybe Ted, I told them, we won't be able to make it this year. And then a few weeks ago, I asked my wife, so give me a clue, what do you want to do for your birthday, something special? And she kind of was evasive a little bit, and finally, she pulled up her phone, showed me this hotel reservation, and I said, Rise? Phoenix? She goes, yeah. She says, for my birthday, I'm taking you to the type-in. That's pretty good. are pleased to have Mr. Bill Wall of Mesa Typewriter Exchange back here. Bill, what brings you back to the Type-In?
Well, just the enthusiasm of my customer base and knowing you were going to be here, and it's just fun to rub shoulders with everyone that's enthused about typewriters. I don't even consider myself a collector that much, but I just kind of feed off the enthusiasm of my customer base and people that love typewriters, and so I just take part in that. Like I said, I really don't consider myself quite as much as an enthusiast of most of the people here, but I just love the atmosphere and being with everyone that's...
Well, so Bill owns Mesa Typewriter Exchange. Tell us a little bit about the history of that shop.
Sure, yeah. My grandfather started in there in the late 40s, and him and my father both worked in there for years. I started working in there part-time while I was in high school. That was back in 1973, so over 50 years now I've been involved with working on typewriters. And so for a year or two, the three of us, my dad, my grandfather, myself, all worked on machines. And then my grandfather retired. Eventually my dad retired, so I had some part-time help up until 1992, and ever since 92 I've been doing it just myself.
Wow.
So, yeah. But yeah, we've been there a while, same location.
Yeah. We always love dropping by your shop when we visit. We may not be able to this trip, but and it's always funny. It seems like you do, on normal business hours, you do more visiting and talking with the typewriter community than working on machines.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like I say, I enjoy my customer base, and so when they come in, I'm not on the clock. I visit with my customers. A lot of them come from out of town sometimes, and so, yeah, a lot of my bench work's done at night or after hours when I know I'm not going to be interrupted, but that's fine. I don't mind. Like I say, I enjoy visiting with customers when they come in.
Very cool. Well, Bill, I'll cut the interview short. I know you got a lot of rubbing elbows and you got customers here. So anyway, it's great seeing you again at the Type-In. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
You bet. Well, it's always great seeing Bill. He's a great, vital part of the typewriter community here in Phoenix, and it's really special having a professional typewriter person with a shop and decades of experience. And if you have one in your community, you should frequent them and support them with your business. Well, folks, you never guess who I have here. Yes, that's right. This is His Right Reverend, Mr. Ted Monk. Ted, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm great. It's always good to be back in Phoenix, and of course, you live close by.
I live right here.
Yes, you live right here, and then we're again.
In fact, my house is right here, and it's underneath this floor. And I have a bed literally 6 feet under here.
Somehow, I think you're exaggerating, but not very much.
Well,
maybe you could be a little bit. Well,
I'm known for that.
Yeah. So
I'm highly known for my inaccuracy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, how's the typewriter database going? There's a good segue.
It's going quite well.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to acknowledge that you are a great resource, a treasure in the typewriter community because of what you've done in organizing and setting up a system for people to crowdsource data for the typewriter serial number database and the history of the machines and all that. So
it was a good idea.
Yes, it was. So what have you been doing this year in regards to the database? What are the updates?
I have been lately thinking about an adding machine database, but I'm not really sure I want to do that because that's a whole nother ball of wax.
Yeah, and, we're not sure how the numbers come together with that. So
well, it's not so much the numbers; it's just I don't want to defocus.
Oh yeah.
The meaning or the purpose of the database and make it too widespread.
Right. Well, I guess you could do like a separate database, right?
Yeah, but it'd be so much easier just to add it to what I've got.
Yeah. Well, and so then how about the service manual, the Bibles, the typewriter repair Bibles? I
am still looking for certain ones, mostly Royal Portables between 1950 to 1959. I've got all the rest. Skywriter around that 40s, 50s mark. I'm looking for the SM9 service manual, and I feel like it'd be pretty complete if I had all those. But
Yeah.
those are the ones I'm chasing down right now.
Well, I can tell you personally, this year, the Royal Mercury service manual came in really handy for me.
That one is so well written. I love the way that one's
Yeah,
written.
learning how to take the platen out of the Mercury.
That one's just a good general knowledge
Yeah.
typewriter repair.
And I think another great example is like the Smith Corona 5 Series manuals.
That's another
That is
excellent one.
like
It's a little dense.
a little dense,
It's,
yeah.
it's very, very dense.
Yeah.
But it's very well written.
They have these wonderful isometric sketches of the machine, and then underline in the text.
The line art in
The line art.
that book
Like if there's a
is so
part
neat.
mentioned, they underline it and they draw an arrow right over to the diagram where that part is.
Yep.
So that's really cool, yeah.
Yeah. I'm. Those are two that I highly recommend to
Yeah.
anyone. Just, I mean, even if you don't have the machine, just
Right.
reading it is going to teach you so much about typewriter.
Oh yeah,
repair.
definitely. So as far as like a beginner getting into typewriter repair, what would be the essential manuals to get?
Oh, the Orange Book, the
Orange
Typewriter
Book, yeah.
Repair Bible, the manual Typewriter Repair Bible is going to, and I don't know, maybe don't even buy it because most of it's on the either on Pult's site or on the typewriter database anyway in a web format.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy it. You can still learn all that stuff.
But I'll say having the coil-bound paper copy
But
that
it
opens
is awful
flat,
handy
and
to
you
have
can
on
lay
your
it down on your
workbench,
workbench and you can refer to it. It's so much
It's
better
very
than a
nice.
screen.
Yeah. It's better than printing it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Well, it is great seeing you here, Ted.
good
As
seeing you
always,
here.
we have to thank Brian Goode for setting up this event, of
And
course.
thank you for making this enormous trip.
Oh yeah, well, we drove our Flintstones car
Oh, okay.
all the way from Albuquerque, and my
So
feet are
your
tired.
feet are raw,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're raw.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah.
I can
Anyway.
see why the pavement's very hot.
Very
We're
hot.
in a heat warning right
Oh,
now.
I
so
know.
one day.
I got really lucky. The first one that I got was actually a counselor at my school who loves typewriters, so I go to him all the time. Yeah. This one takes it over. This is the machine takes it. I'll usually go to this one and then
How do you like the Naked Olympia?
It reminds me of how I was born.
Yeah.
I came into this world with nothing on, and the tactile experience and just the visual reminds me of the rawness of life.
That's a great answer. You should type that out.
Let me think about what I said again. And, the prompt is, how do you like the Naked Olympia?
That's right. Van Cleve, what are you doing?
I'm writing a thank you note to our sister.
Oh, nice.
really love about type-ins is newcomers to typewriters, their enthusiasm in watching them discover the world of typewriters for the first time and how different machines feel different, look different, act different, and they find suddenly that they have preferences for one kind of machine over another, and they didn't know there was such a thing as differences between typewriters that they might be able to experience. So we saw a number of people, newcomers to typewriters, discover that for the first time during the type-in, and that's really exciting because we point them in the direction of a good source of reconditioned typewriters. In the case of Phoenix, we pointed them toward Bill Wall at Mesa Typewriter Exchange. Of course, there's also Phoenix Typewriter, Dwayne Jensen in the area. So two great sources of reconditioned typewriters to point newcomers to. And that's one thing to keep in mind if you're interested in starting your own type-in, is know what the resources are in your neighborhood, in your area, and you can point newcomers to typewriters to those resources if they are looking for a good quality reconditioned machine. So this year, the Phoenix Type-In was organized by our friend Brian Goode and his friend Christy, and they both did an excellent job with the whole organization of it. And also one of the highlights was we had a speed typing contest. I wasn't really prepared to win it because, well, I'm not the fastest typist, but I didn't bring machines that were as well suited to fast typing. But according to Ted Monk, during the scoring process, I was up there. But I didn't win, but that's all right because just participating is winning enough. At least losers like me say that. The event was really great, and we especially like the venue of the First Draft Book Bar at the Changing Hands bookstore. It has a breakfast lunch restaurant, a lunch dinner restaurant in the same building, and right next door is Rise, a hotel that has a great coffee shop, a full-blown restaurant, 2 bars, etc. So there's a lot going on within walking distance of the whole venue. But it's a great thing going to a type-in. If you haven't attended one, I would really recommend you look for a type-in in your area. And if you're a typewriter enthusiast and you have a collection of typewriters and you would like to go to a type-in in your area, but nobody has started one, I would encourage you, start your own type-in. Just schedule like a public library meeting room. Pick a date. Typically Saturdays or Sundays are the best. Schedule the room. Publicize it on social media. You could even have the library themselves advertise it on their event calendar. Bring your typewriters, bring some paper, bring some friends if you have some typewriter friends, and have fun. Start your own typewriter movement in your community. And community is the key word, and this is what I love about going to Phoenix for the type-in, is they really do have a strong community there, which is what we're trying to build here in Albuquerque as well. So thank you to all the organizers and participants of the 2024 Phoenix Type-In. I had a blast. Look forward to attending next year. And as always,
So how do I finish the video?
Stay creative.
Yes, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye for now.